So, lads, today we're going to be talking a little bit more about the WNBA's A'ja Wilson problem. And I mean this when I say this. This is not specifically taking a shot at A'ja Wilson. Look, I'm not a fan of A'ja Wilson. I'm really, after basically her sending her angry mob at Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark got a shoe deal, even though she had already got a shoe deal, already had a signature shoe in the works, and everything, I've not been a fan of A'ja Wilson at all. Like, just her as a person. But there's a tweet that I saw, and it was one of kind of just the one thing I very much realized. And it was kind of mad. Like, it was kind of mad that there's one common denominator in all of this stuff, and it's A'ja Wilson. So I saw a tweet being like, I need some help. Can y'all reply with some examples of times the media analysts has said a woman basketball player wasn't deserving of an award, recognition, or special honor they received? I would truly like some examples. And obviously I respond a bit late with any time A'ja doesn't win an award. And I said that as a joke, but it's the truth. It is actually the truth. If you look back on it, any time that A'ja Wilson does not get something, the WNBA are upset. The WNBA media are upset. It got to the stage, even 2023, when she didn't win MVP. She was third in MVP, by the way. She didn't win MVP. And if you guys don't know, Cheryl Swoops, who again, her podcast is sponsored by WNBA, was liking anti-Stewie tweets. She was out there liking anti-Stewie tweets on Twitter. And then like doubling down, being like, yeah, I said what I said. And it's like, not even like almost in like a Skip Bayless way. And like, Cheryl Swoops, the reality of the situation is people are like, oh, she dislikes Caitlin Clark, she's turning on Caitlin Clark. I stand by the fact that I think that this is almost like if someone's a threat to A'ja Wilson, they're a problem. Another time that we saw the WNBA and WNBA adjacent people going absolutely crazy was when Sabrina Ionescu got on the 2K cover. So Sabrina Ionescu got on, it's zoomed a bit too much, she got on the NBA 2K24 cover before A'ja Wilson got on the 2K cover. And there was uproar. There was absolute carnage. They went berserk when Sabrina Ionescu was on a cover because A'ja Wilson wasn't. When Sabrina Ionescu got her first shoe, they were not happy because it wasn't A'ja Wilson. And then you're looking here, Fee winning DPOY in 2024. Stewie getting on the Olympics team instead of Candace Parker. To be fair, yeah, that was crazy. That one was crazy. And Nneka Nwumeke, the finals MVP and MVP of that season, didn't make the Olympics team. But the comments in this tweet tell me a certain fan base, yeah. But at the same time, every single one of these scenarios, outside of the Candace Parker Olympics in 2016, every single situation where the media, analysts, and the WNBA say a player isn't deserving of something, over the last 3 or 4 years, every single award A'ja Wilson has not won, people have complained about. And this Time Magazine one was not even a basketball award. I'm sorry, A'ja Wilson had absolutely no right to win that award. Even if it wasn't Caitlin Clark, I think you could make an argument Caitlin Clark did not deserve to win Time Athlete of the Year. But you better believe A'ja Wilson wasn't in the top 50. She was not in the top 50 athletes of the year. I'm sorry, there's no question about that. She was not in the top 50 athletes this year. So, I'm just saying it, it's crazy. And that's a big problem with the WNBA, is that if A'ja Wilson doesn't win something, it's a problem. A'ja Wilson doesn't win DPOY. A'ja did not deserve to win DPOY. I'm sorry, she didn't. She stood under the basket the whole season and blocked some shots. Fee was the best defensive player on the best defensive team. Nafisa Collier, willingly won MVP. So not MVP, Jesus, DPOY. She was the DPOY. I think it's hard to argue a case for A'ja Wilson being the defensive player of the year, other than using Hassan Whiteside-nomics of blocks equals defense. Unless you want to go with the Hassan Whiteside-nomics of, then, A'ja Wilson's not the DPOY. But because she wasn't the DPOY, you got Becky Hammon out here insulting the media, insulting everything, and then people in the media coming out talking about how it was a disgrace that Fee Collier was depoy. Just like people said the same about Stewie. Just like people have said the same about Caitlin Clark winning an award. And that's the reality of the situation, is that if Asia does not win an award, even if it's an award she's not deserving of, and by the way, unpopular opinion, I think Asia Wilson didn't deserve a unanimous MVP. I think it was an extremely tight MVP race because her team was the 4th seed. In a team of 12 leagues, it's like the equivalent of a team being a 5th seed in the NBA. So, like, imagine being a unanimous MVP as a 5th seed in the NBA, and you can be like, oh, what she did was historic. Yeah, so was Russell Westbrook with all those averaging triple-doubles when his team were lower seeds. That doesn't mean that he should have won unanimously. People even argue we shouldn't have won MVP. And I'm not going to go that far with Asia, but, like, I think Asia had a better 2023 season than she had 2024. But it's like, it is a huge issue that every single time an award does not go to Asia Wilson, there's a huge problem in the WNBA media and there's uproar. And if you say anything other than Asia Wilson deserves everything, every single award, it's unlikely you're going to be shown in the media. I'm telling you this for a fact. Like, if someone in the media claimed Nafisa Collier, came out and said they think Nafisa Collier was the MVP, even if they didn't have a vote, they wouldn't be on the show. They wouldn't be allowed on the TV next day. Like, it's like a cult around Asia Wilson. And I'm not even going to blame her for this, because I don't know what impact she has on it. But it's like the cult of Asia Wilson. And you look back on it, and it's genuinely like, I remember in the Olympics, in fairness, Asia Wilson was good in the final. Well, she was good in the second half of the final, and Stewie was bad in the final. She deserved MVP in the Olympics. But up till the final, it wasn't even close. Breanna Stewart was 100 times, was like so much better than Asia Wilson. And then I said, Stewie's the MVP, and everyone on Twitter attacked me. I'm like, man, we're watching these games. Asia Wilson scoring the most points. Yeah, she's dropping them, and she's scoring so much in garbage time. Like, when it mattered, Stewie was the one that carried them out of everything. And then in some games when it mattered, it was Jackie Young and Kat Copper that were balling. But yeah, it's just madness. It's just absolute madness when it comes to Asia Wilson, and it's almost like the cult of Asia Wilson. If you do not say, and it's bullying is allowed if it's on behalf of Asia Wilson. Like, the amount of stuff, like Becky Hammond's even there, like, joking about how bad Stewie is if it's on behalf of Asia for winning MVP when they won the title. The amount of times Sabrina Ionescu got attacked by fans, and it was fine when it's on behalf of Asia. It is like, I don't know how responsible she is for this, but like, the WNBA media is like the cult of Asia Wilson. And if Asia Wilson does not, and regardless of what people think privately, if you are not publicly a cult member, you're not going to be in the WNBA media. Like, there's been petitions to get Rebecca Lobo off ESPN because she suggested that it was only that it wasn't a guarantee that Asia Wilson was unanimous MVP. Halfway through the year, Asia Wilson was the MVP before she dribbled the ball last season. And the reality of the situation is that Fee Collier, in my opinion, had as good an argument. Like, outside of the Lynx losing, the Lynx would have been the number 1 seed if it wasn't for the fact that Fee got injured for 6 games and I think they lost 3 of them. Like, the reality is that Asia Wilson wins almost every award. And whenever she doesn't win an award, it's a scandal. And not only that, you see, like, actual WNBA media and WNBA people effectively, like, claiming the other player doesn't deserve the award. For the people in the cult of Asia Wilson, it's never been about growing the game. It's about growing Asia. And that's another huge reason why the Caitlin Clark situation's pissing him off so much, is there's someone who'll be able to compete with her on the court and is already 100 times bigger than her off the court. It's the truth. Like, I know people don't like to admit it, but it is the truth. Anyway, I'll see you guys.